Lunara versus Throne.
Hey folks, it's Kikoskia here with some more Hearthstone. This time in Wild, with my Reno Druid deck. What does Reno Jackson do? Reno Jackson is a 6-mana 4/6 whose battle cry is, if you have no duplicates in your deck at all, it fully heals you. It spawned a massive archetype of decks when it was in Standard. We're playing against a Shaman with Prince Malkazar. Interesting.
Nature's blessings.
How do? Are you well? I haven't played in Wild for quite a while, so I don't know what kind of opponents I'm going to be facing. Though I get the feeling this Shaman might have something to do with Shudderwock, because... Oh, well, Geomancer. Never mind. Because the battle cry of adding 5 legendaries into your deck, I believe, would be played by Shudderwock when you, let's play the Doomsayer. When Shudderwock goes off. Who knows what my opponent's going to play, because every single card in all of Hearthstone is available. You're targeting the kobolds. That's a curious choice. Nope, you're just going face. And creating a totem. There is a reason for that with the Shaman. The Shaman could have the taunt that gets cheaper every time you play a totem. I'm going to play an Ogre Brute, a minion with a 50% chance of hitting the wrong target, which sometimes can work to your benefit because it means that the Ogre can hit targets that otherwise would be impossible, like pass taunts or stealth targets. You have 4 mana. There are so many things that you can play in Wild at 4 mana. I have a smattering of Standard and Wild... Ooh, another Kobold Geomancer. Other Standard and Wild cards. You're going to make a 1-drop there. That's not a bad 1-drop. But I feel like what I should play right now is the Burly Rockjaw Trog. I've missed playing Trogs. Trogs are super fun to have. And I want to get rid of this one. Or not. We'll just hit the face instead. That's not great, because that means all my opponent needs is 1 point of damage to get rid of the Rockjaw Trog. If he has another Maelstrom, that will do really well in clearing my board. But I have lots of things, including Ultimate Infestation, just in case I run out of fuel later on, and a Mind Control tech, just in case his board gets too wide. Spirit Claws, ooh, that's not good to see. You're going to trade there. And are you going to trade the Kobold Geomancer in? I don't think you will, but you might. It all depends on what you get here. You're not going to trade that in. Now what I'm going to do... Ooh, there's Tyrantus. Hello, Tyrantus. Is that I'm going to see if I can hit this. I can this time. And I'll play an Acolyte of Pain, and get rid of this so that it makes it less likely that you're going to be able to get a spell totem when you use your hero power. I have quite a bit of healing in this deck. Originally this deck had the quest in it as well, but I didn't draw minions fast enough, and the only real card draw I have in a spell is 1 Nourish and 1 Ultimate Infestation. The quest went really slowly. That said, I don't have many decent turn 1 plays. I do have a Raven Idol, just in case I want to cast a spell to get something, but that early on in the game, you don't know what you need. I do have a Naturalize, as you can see. 1 definite piece of removal, just in case. You also do see quite a lot of Mill Rogues in Wild, and naturalizing their minions, or sometimes your own if you don't want them to return back into your hand, is a good way to get them to mill a card or 2. You have 5 cards, 6 mana. There are lots of options here. You're going to see what you get. And it's something that I can trade into. Or not, because I think you're going to get rid of my Acolyte. Yes, you are. I still get 1 card. Ooh, Skulking Geist. Your appearance is timely. I get rid of 1 thing myself, but I want to see if I get rid of anything of yours. I get rid of both of your Evolves, and my Naturalize is gone from my hand, and the Raven Idol is gone from my deck. So when I said 1 thing, I meant one thing from my deck that we hadn't seen. Getting rid of those evolves definitely worth it. Plus, it was on curve. Not sure what I'm going to do next turn, though. Ah, you've got the extra 2 attack. And you're going to Rock Bite a weapon that so that you can trade away into my 4/6. You're really intent on keeping my board clear. That's going to be problematic for you when Tyrannus appears. Ooh, excellent. Right on time. Hello, Dr. Boom. How are you? I love playing Dr. Boom. So satisfying to get that 7/7 and the 2 Boom bots. Even if you hex Dr. Boom, I still have the Boom bots, and they can be quite devastating. Another totem. It's a taunt. You're going to Flame Tongue and go face. If you play something else, which you didn't, that would have been great. But I think I'm just going to trade these in here. 3 damage to the face. And that totem is gone. And I'm definitely going to get rid of this. I think nourishing here for cards is a good idea. I could nourish and just get mana, but I'll be at 10 soon enough. Let's get those cards. Darnassus Aspirant. And a Hadronox, because I do have a few taunts that I want returning when that dies. I think the Darnassus Aspirant will be good here. It'll get me to 10 mana, provided of course it doesn't die. It's also a really good card to play against the Psychic Scream, because you just gain 1 mana.
Brothers,
Servant of Kalamos, without the Discover an Elemental. I think we're good here for Tyrannus. A 12/12 that can't be hexed. And I'm going to trade. Your turn. Best to keep the board clear. We've got plenty of damage as it is. Volcano would be very unlikely to get rid of Tyrannus completely. Fire Elemental. That's one of my minions gone. As for the other one, it's still there. And we can get through that taunt. We can definitely get through that taunt. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Then play the Lich King. Then I'm going to coin out the Earthen Ring Farseer to heal Tyrannus, giving my board even more health, and we got an anti-magic shell. All of this, and we still haven't seen Reno Jackson. Still in the remaining 11 cards. There's the thing from below, the taunt that gets cheaper when you... Ooh! Yogg-Saron, here we go! A random spell for every spell that they've cast, with random targets. If Yogg-Saron happens to die, it ends. Did get a 1/3 Poison Rush, which isn't too bad. Excess mana, which gives him 1 card. Unfortunately, I think my opponent has lost because of the anti-magic shell. 14, 18, and more. Well played. I commend you for playing Yogg-Saron. I should probably play Yogg-Saron in this deck, but I don't play enough spells. We're level 58, we have a Golden Elven Archer, and 1 win under our belt, and 4 minions over 5 or more. Let's play again, shall we? I wasn't expecting to win even once with this deck, because when I was playtesting it, it was enjoyable enough, but it was getting destroyed by pretty much any deck I found. There are some really powerful decks in Wild, as I'm sure we'll see now.
Lunara versus Gul'dan.
Here's a Warlock.
Your souls shall be mine.
I
The
probably
forest
want the
fights
Acidic
back.
Swamp Ooze, I don't want Tyrannus, and I don't want the Lich King. Do I want the Antique Heal bot, though? It's a risk, it is a 5-cost minion, but it is the only Antique Heal bot I have, so you know what? I'm going to keep it. If my opponent is a very aggressive deck, I'll be very thankful for that. Hadronarch's not so happy to see, though. Hello!
Nature's blessings
How are
upon
you? Mind control tech. That's going to be useful if my opponent gets lots of minions. It's quite likely, especially with that succubus. Doomsayer's a good choice, I think, to stop my opponent from playing lots of minions. Then again, it's quite likely that my opponent doesn't have a weapon to hand, so I'll just play the 3-2 instead. I'll save the Doomsayer for when things get really bad. You're going face, ignoring my 3-2. Bluegill Warrior. That'll deal with it. Naturalize. I don't want you to draw more cards. I think Doomsayer's fine now. There we go. Shadow Bolts. You've got quite a few answers there, but at least that saved me some damage. An Elven Archer hitting me in the face for 1. Blood Knight. Is Blood Knight a good choice here? I think so.
Glory to the Sinjora.
There is a good chance that my opponent will have some Divine Shield minions, but I want that there to contest the board. And if my opponent keeps playing more minions and going face, eventually I'll get use out of Mind Control tech, and now I'm quite glad that I kept the Antique Heal bot, because this is going to help me stabilize the board, or at least my health. There we go. And now at 28. And I have a 3-3. A Skulking Geist might be useful, especially if you have some Soulfires. You're going to be hitting me in the face.
One shot.
Playing an Elven Archer so that you can trade there. And playing something else. A Voodoo Doctor. I do have a swipe. And I do have a 1 in 5 chance of getting something good with the Mind Control tag. But first, I'm going to look for a spell. Living Roots, Bite, or Landscaping. Living Roots might actually be useful here. So I'm going to get it and see what I get here. It's not bad. And I want to get some 1/1 saplings. There we go. Your turn. If my opponent plays something really big, I do have the Big Game Hunter. You're going to trade there. And there. Makes sense. But I will still have 1/1s to trade with. A River Crocolisk. Still a substantial threat with the board that I currently have. There is Stalag. I could play Stalag, but I think I actually want to play the Skulking Geist right now. Just because it's got more health. Now, I get rid of a Naturalize, and that's it. My opponent had no 1-cost spells. My opponent is likely going to hit me in the face for 6 next turn. And they could very well have some really nasty minions there. But I am ready with the Big Game Hunter, just in case.
Someone call
Voodoo Doctor. And a Bluegill Warrior that, yep, is also going face. Ultimate Infestation. If I can last for a few more turns, I can gain quite a bit of armor. Only need to last for this turn, really. We're going to get rid of this one, just in case there's Murloc synergy. And trade here. And play Stalag. If you're wondering if this deck contains Fugan so that when they both die, I summon Thaddeus, you're absolutely right. More face. Can you play a big minion here? You're going to trade there. Dread Infernal and Void Walker. Right. Now we can gain some ground, because I'm going to coin Ultimate Infestation on the 1/3 here. Deal 5 damage, gain 5 armor, get a 5/5, draw 5 cards, including Dr. Boom. Trade here, And I've got the board. And a lot of cards that I can use to keep the board as well. My opponent does have health as a resource. And Void Walkers. That swipe is going to be really useful now. There we go. They're all gone. And I think I will play the Burly Rockjaw Trog. And I'm going to Hero Power because I get the feeling my opponent is going to try and burst me down. And every point of armor is going to be critical. And now my opponent has less effective health than I do.
Are you ready for this?
Archmage. But nothing else. I think it's time for Dr. Boom. And Wrath to get rid of this minion here. Definitely want to keep trading. I have a strong enough board as it is. Who knows what my opponent could play?
Don't mess.
A Razorfen Hunter.
For the king.
And a Stormwind Knight to get rid of my 5-attack minion. Unfortunately, I have enough damage for lethal. Well played. And I will defeat you with the Boom Bots. That's 2 wins out of 2. But will I get a 3rd win? That remains to be seen. Let's queue up one more time, shall we? One more time. When I was practicing yesterday, I was encountering things like Quest Priest and the Quest Warlock as well a few times. And here is a Druid. Now, there are many different Druids that I can encounter in Wild, and one of the most fearsome of them is Jade Druid. Jade Druid is a scary prospect, and I really want to get the Skulking Geist, but I also want Swipe. And there's Reno Jackson. Finally, Reno has appeared. Hello, how are you? Still smiling, are you? You're always smiling.
Nature's blessings upon you.
How are you today? Are you well? Win or lose here, I've won more times than I've lost with this deck here. And I like that. No play whatsoever. I think I'll just Hero Power you. Next turn, I think, Acolyte of Pain. My opponent has the coin and is playing the coin. Wild Growth to gain 1 mana crystal. Fair enough. There's Dr. Boom. Dr. Boom has quite reliably been appearing. I think Dr. Boom realised that he's in one of my decks, and thus decided to appear all the time. Dr. Boom does love the limelight after all.
Do you hear its call?
Oh! You're a Cthulhu Druid. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, what do we want to do here? We probably just want to hit the face, and then Earthen Ring Farseer seems a bit too early, considering the fact that I've got nothing to heal, but it is a minion on the board, so I'll play it. Now, every turn that 3/7 remains alive is another +1/+1 for Cthulhu. I'm very glad that I have the Big Game Hunter. And Naturalize.
Do you hear its call?
Another Twilight Elder. Oh dear. And that one is a 5/9. Ouch.
Listen close.
Not much I'm going to be able to do against that one right now. Doomsayer might buy me some time, though. Might buy me some time. And maybe my opponent will play more minions, and then I can steal one of them. The downside of having really expensive cards, of course, is that I can't use them right now, even if I know I'll be able to use them later. I think right now, Doomsayer is my best choice. And I want to leave all of my minions alive, and I definitely don't want to hit that 5/9. What I wouldn't give for my Naturalize right now, it would be really useful. That Cthulhu is getting large. You're going to do that. And trade, that's good. I do not want to play a Temporino. There's a Disciple of Cthulhu, and a hero power. Swipe will now get rid of 2 minions, which isn't bad. By the time I get a good opportunity to play the mind control tech, it's going to be the turn for Dr. Boom. That's a 13-13 Cthulhu. Now if I swipe there, that, makes that a 5-8. Not much else I can really do, but I will do this. There we go. And I think a hero power. I think I actually want this card now. There's Big Game Hunter. I'm glad to see that. At least the minion here is a 5-7, so it won't be able to trade effectively with Dr. Boom. Maya Keeper to gain some... Ooh, a Sport of Nazoth. Maya Keeper to gain some mana. That's a 14-14 Cthulhu now. I may indeed be making many mistakes, but playing Dr. Boom is not one of them. It's never one of them. This could clear the board quite effectively, if of course my opponent doesn't... Ooh, there's Cthulhu's Chosen. You're going to trade there, after you've played lots of minions, which means that my mind control tech is going to work. I like that my mind control tech is going to be very effective here. Let's see what I can do. Ooh, naturalize as well.
Engaging TC-130 until dislocated.
The 5-3 is mine. Now I shall trade here. And then here. So that I can get rid of that. And then I'm going to, I think, Wrath this minion. So that it's dead. And then I think I will hit this. Unfortunately, that went face. But the 5-3 will effectively trade with the 4-3. I could actually naturalize that, but I'm not going to because I do have Reno Jackson in hand. My opponent is unlikely to deal enough damage to me to kill me, and I can Youthful Brewmaster it back. You're going to hit that, taking 5. That's an impressive amount of damage to take. What do you have in your hand that makes you want to do that? A Disciple of Cthulhu. You're not going to trade, are you? No, you're not. But you are still going to hit that. And then heal yourself. You're playing the long game, are you? You're not the only one that's playing the long game.
We're gonna be rich.
I am too. I think I'll have that back. There we go. I think I will trade here and here. Now it is your turn. When I get low on health again, I think I'll play that again.
Oops, I broke a diamond.
That, unfortunately for you, gives me another expedient way to get rid of Cthulhu. Because I have a Black Knight in here. I think it's time for the Lich King. And I will hit here, and now I'll start hitting you in the face because you've run out of cards, unfortunately. You're likely hoping for your Nourish to appear. Ooh, Death and Decay. That's going to be useful against some of the smaller Cthulhu minions, like the Disciples of Cthulhu. Eight, 11. Ooh, Wild Growth, that'll get you a card. 8, 11, 16, 17, 20 damage. 24 damage. I think it's time to go for the damage.
Where shall I strike?
I'll do this, and this, but I'm not going to use Death and Decay just yet. I want that just in case he plays something, for instance, that will be unable to be naturalized. There is a taunt that, well, I've got 2 of them now. Maybe I should have played it. There's Cthulhu. My board has been cleared, but it doesn't matter.
Well played.
Because I have 3 damage and 3 more damage. As nice as it would have been to have used the Big Game Hunter, I didn't need to. Victory is mine. and up I go to rank 19. 3 victories, and I'm very surprised I got them, and that I managed to clear that daily. And so, that was 3 matches at the low ranks in Wild with one of a kind, my Reno Druid deck. It did remarkably well. Will it do remarkably well in the future? Probably not, because I'll start encountering the really powerful decks, and they will absolutely destroy me. But it's nice to have a deck win every once in a while. And when we come back, folks, I think I may return to Wild once again, with another creation. That deck originally had a lot of different things in it, like it had Demolisher, and a Hobgoblin, just in case I played some of my one-attack minions with that Hobgoblin in play. The Hobgoblin is a really powerful minion. Unfortunately, it just didn't fit with a Reno deck because you can't reliably draw the Hobgoblins. What wild deck will I create though? I don't know, maybe I'll have an idea for a standard deck, but it's more likely that a wild idea will come to mind. After all, wild is wild! Having every single card available really does change how you build decks. You have so many options, some of them very similar and just giving you minor tweaks to attack and mana and health, allowing you to more finely tailor what you like. It also has some really crazy cards in it. Really crazy cards. Like Yogg-Saron. Still like the fact that opponent played Yogg-Saron. And so, when we come back, folks, more Hearthstone, wild or otherwise. And I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.